At night, a bodyguard was humiliated at a luxurious party in New York. No one there knew. The man standing at the door was a 28-year-old billionaire. And 1 minute later, the truth would shatter everything. In the city of New York, among towering buildings that never sleep, lived a man named Ethan Walker, 28 years old. On paper, Ethan was a young billionaire, the founder of a digital security technology company whose name often appeared in business magazines. His wealth reached hundreds of millions of dollars. He owned a luxury apartment in Manhattan, an expensive sports car, and had full access to elite circles. Yet none of that truly made him happy. Honestly, in my opinion, wealth often surrounds someone with many people, but never truly with companionship. Ethan was in a relationship with a woman named Claire Monroe. Beautiful, elegant, and born into an upper-class family. Claire was the type of woman who always looked perfect: designer bags, expensive shoes, and a socialite circle. What Claire didn't know was one important thing. Ethan deliberately never showed his wealth completely. One night, Ethan stood in front of the mirror in his apartment. He took off his expensive suit and put on a simple black outfit, a bodyguard uniform. That day, Claire was attending her father's birthday party, a well-known real estate businessman. Usually, Ethan came as the successful boyfriend, but this time was different. Ethan decided to disguise himself as a hired bodyguard, not for fun, but because he wanted to know one very important thing. Does Claire love me? Or does she love my status and money? I say that not everyone is brave enough to test the truth like this, because the truth is often painful. The party venue was magnificent. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling. Guests wore expensive outfits, and soft classical music filled the room. Ethan stood near the entrance, upright, his face serious, just like a professional bodyguard. When Claire arrived, she wore an elegant red gown. All eyes turned toward her. But when she saw Ethan standing at the door, Claire froze. "Ethan, what are you doing here?" she whispered in surprise. Ethan lowered his head slightly, acting perfectly. "I'm an additional bodyguard tonight, Mississippi." Claire's expression changed instantly. Not worried, not proud, but embarrassed. "What? You work as a bodyguard?" Her voice dropped, cold. Ethan nodded calmly. "Yes, just a temporary job." Claire pulled his arm irritably. "Do you even know whose party this is?" Important people are everywhere. A man in an expensive suit approached and looked Ethan up and down. "A bodyguard?" he said with a mocking smile. "Make sure you stay away from the VIP area." A few other guests chuckled softly. Ethan heard it all. He remained silent. In my opinion, the silence of someone being insulted is often mistaken for weakness, when sometimes it is the greatest form of strength. All night long, Ethan stood not far from Claire, yet Claire never looked at him warmly again. When her friends asked, Claire whispered sarcastically, "Oh, him, just a bodyguard. Nobody important." Those words were like a knife. Sharp, quiet, but piercing straight into the heart. A female guest laughed and said, "Claire, you deserve someone with more class, not a doorman." Claire only smiled and didn't defend Ethan. Ethan clenched his fists. Honestly, in my opinion, when someone we love chooses silence while we are being humiliated, that's when we begin to understand the true meaning of love. That night after the party, Ethan didn't go straight back to his apartment. He sat alone inside his black car, still wearing the same bodyguard uniform. The lights of New York reflected on the windshield, but his mind felt empty. I think about it, how ironic life can be. A person can have everything: money, power, a future, yet still feel small, because of a single humiliating sentence from the one they love. His phone vibrated. A message from Claire. "We need to talk. Tomorrow afternoon. At a restaurant near Central Park." No emojis. No words of longing. Only cold distance. Ethan gave a bitter smile. He already knew where this conversation was going. That afternoon, the restaurant near Central Park was filled with upper-class guests. Claire arrived wearing oversized sunglasses and carrying an expensive handbag. Ethan was already seated, this time dressed simply, with no sign of luxury at all. Claire sat down without a smile. "Ethan, I need to be honest," she said, letting out a long breath. "We live in different worlds." Ethan looked at her calmly. "Because I'm a bodyguard?" Claire fell silent for a moment, then said, "I'm not looking down on your job, but I have a reputation. My family, my circle, they judge. I think that the phrase, 'I'm not looking down on you,' often becomes the beginning of the most painful kind of humiliation. Claire continued, "Do you know how it feels to be looked at? Strangely, because my boyfriend is just a security guard." Ethan gave a faint smile. Just. The word hung in the air. Another man walked past their table. He wore a sharp suit, an expensive watch on his wrist. He glanced briefly at Ethan, then looked at Claire with a knowing smile. Claire returned the smile. Ethan's heart felt heavier. "I think we need some time," Claire said at last. "Or maybe we should stop. No tears, no hesitation. I think when someone truly loves, they fight. And when someone chooses to leave so easily, it means they never truly stayed." Ethan nodded slowly. "If that's what you want." Claire looked relieved. "Thank you for understanding." She stood up, adjusted her dress, and walked away, leaving Ethan alone at an expensive table that suddenly felt cold. That night, Ethan returned to his company's headquarters. The tall building was brightly lit. The directors stood the moment he entered. "Mr. Walker," one of them said, "we're ready whenever you want to appear at the investor gala next week." Ethan removed the bodyguard jacket and put on an expensive suit. His expression changed. The presence of a true leader returned. "Invite all key partners," he said calmly, "including the Monroe family." The directors exchanged surprised looks. "Of course, sir. Honestly, I say this isn't about revenge." Ethan did this to close one chapter of his life with the truth. On the calendar, the date of the event was circled in red. A night when all insults would be answered without a single word. All laughter would turn into silence. And one heart would realize its mistake when it was already too late. Ethan looked at his reflection in the glass window of the building. "The truth will come out," he murmured. And when the truth finally appeared, not everyone would be ready to accept it. The gala night finally arrived. A five-star hotel in the heart of New York was filled with the glow of crystal lights, a red carpet, and distinguished guests from the worlds of business, technology, and elite families. The event name was displayed prominently on a large LED screen. Walker Global Security, Annual Investor Gala. Claire Monroe arrived with her father. She wore an elegant black gown, radiating confidence. "I heard the founder of this company is very young," her father said. "A technology genius. Not even 30 years old." Claire gave a faint smile. "He must be an extraordinary man." She had no idea. That man was once the one she called just a bodyguard. The lights in the room dimmed. The music stopped. An MC stood on the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we welcome the founder and CEO of Walker Global Security." The spotlight turned on. A man stepped onto the stage. Ethan Walker, wearing an expensive suit, standing tall with a calm, steady gaze. The same man who once stood at the party entrance as a security guard. Claire's face went pale. The glass in her hand nearly slipped. "That can't be possible," she whispered. Ethan stood at the center of the stage. "Good evening," he said calmly, yet with authority. "My name is Ethan Walker. I am 28 years old." The entire room burst into applause. Claire didn't. She froze. Ethan continued his speech. "I built this company from nothing, but the most valuable thing in my life is not money." He paused for a moment. "It is the lesson about how people treat others when they believe that person has nothing." Several guests exchanged glances. Claire lowered her head. Ethan mentioned no names. He exposed no one. He returned no insults. Yet every word felt like a mirror. After the event, Claire tried to approach him. Her hands were trembling. "Ethan, I didn't know." Her eyes filled with tears. "I was wrong. I regret it. Please, give me another chance." Ethan looked at her for a long moment. Not with anger, not with resentment, but with the calm of someone who had already moved on. "I tested you not because I doubted you," he said softly, "but because I needed to be honest with myself." He gave a faint smile. "And now I have my answer." Ethan walked away. Claire stood still, surrounded by luxury, yet completely alone. Final message. At the end of this story, I wrote it myself, and I can't imagine it actually happening in the real world. But honestly, the message inside it is very real. Sometimes it's not money that changes a person, but the way we look at others when they seem small. And often, we only realize someone's value when we have already lost the chance to appreciate them. Welcome to ADI's Voice Channel. This channel features fictional stories, including inspirational stories, romantic stories, and emotional life stories filled with meaningful moral messages. Important notice: All stories presented in this channel are purely fictional and created for entertainment and educational purposes only. The visual images are original creations generated using AI prompts. The narration voice is produced using AI voice technology for storytelling purposes. Any resemblance to real persons or events is purely coincidental. Content purpose: entertainment, inspiration, moral lessons, and life values. Light educational storytelling. Thank you for watching and supporting ADI's voice. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy our stories.